All right, so for this problem, we need to simplify this given fraction. And the important thing to remember is in a solution, we can't have an imaginary number in the denominator of a fraction. So to fix this, we need to multiply both the top and bottom by the conjugate, which in this case would be 6 plus 11i. And we're going to do that with both the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so now we're going to expand both the numerator and the denominator here using FOIL. So in our numerator, our first term would be 18. I'm doing that by 3 times 6. And then 3 times 11i would be 33i. Next, we're going to do I times 6, which is positive 6i. And then I times 11i would be positive 11i squared. Great. In our denominator, now the whole reason we multiply by the conjugate here is that if we were to do FOIL, the two middle terms here would cancel out, meaning like we would have negative 66i and positive 66i, and those would cancel out. So really, our denominator is just going to be 6 times 6, which is 36. And then if we multiply a negative 11i times positive 11i, we get negative 121i squared. Okay? All right, so now we can do some further simplification here. I am going to combine these two I terms together in our numerator. So we would have 33 plus 6 would makes 39i. And then over here, remember that I squared is the same thing as negative 1, right? So when we have this 11i squared, that's the same thing as 11 times negative 1, which is negative 11. So this becomes minus 11. In our denominator, we're going to have 36. And then now we have 121i squared. So 121, and we're going to multiply that by negative 1, because that's what I squared is, which makes negative 121. But because it's being subtracted, we're actually going to be adding that 121. Okay, now we can, we've got some constants we can combine here. We've got 18 minus 11. That will get us 7. We'll leave that 39i alone. And in our denominator, 36 plus 121 makes 157. So to finish off, to get it in the format they're asking for, a plus bi, we're just going to separate this fraction into two terms. So our first term, 7 over 157, so it'd be 7 over 157, plus 39 over 157i. It's a pretty messy fraction. I mean, you would always check to see if you can simplify it further, but in this case we can't. We can't simplify either of those fractions, so we are good to go. All right, hope that was helpful, and thanks for choosing JD's Prep.